Good evening, everybody. My name is Jay, and this is my second YouTube video. Now, I know I haven't posted in a while, so I'm going to make it up to you guys. I'm going to cover a lot of things, namely, a couple of role-playing stuff I've been working with, a troll deck I've been making for Magic the Gathering, and a piece of animation that I think you might find very interesting. So let's begin. So, I'm pretty sure most of you know what Shadowrun is, and if you don't, I'll tell you what essentially is. Essentially, it is a cyberpunk urban fantasy role-playing game that takes place in our world, but around 50 to 70 years in the future, depending on which edition you're playing as. So essentially, like, corporations are taking over, everything's dark and gritty, cyberware eats away at your soul, but a dragon ran for president, there's elves and dwarves everywhere, oh, and there's magic. So, like I said, cyberpunk urban fantasy. If you haven't played Shadowrun, you will find that the rules can be really complex, and you have to roll a ton of d6. So what I did was, I made my own version of it, based off the Kuro system. If you haven't played Kuro, I'm probably going to talk about it in a later video. It's essentially a cyberpunk horror game. But essentially what it is, I took the point-based system from Kuro, and I transferred it over to the Shadowrun setting. I'm going to be playtesting it this week on Saturday on Roll20 with a group of friends of mine, and we're going to see how it goes. Speaking of role-playing games, I've been working on a project for a few years now. It is it's a post-apocalyptic science fantasy game called Savage Planet. The setting is essentially in the year 2016, or whenever the year it gets published. A nuclear reactor explodes, but instead of causing a nuclear catastrophe like it should have, it opens up an interdimensional rift. And out from that rift comes everything from like elves and dwarves and dragons to Terminator-style cyborgs to pulp-style airplanes and zeppelins. Essentially, it's everything in the kitchen sink, all in one setting. I showed it to my friend Dennis. Hi Dennis, if you're watching this. And he said that you really could do a lot with it. Now, my problem is that I'm trying to find a setting that would be useful that would be good for it, I mean. I've experimented with Microlight D20. I made a copy of that. It's still a rough draft, and I actually want to fix a couple of things. I've tried D6. That one didn't really go so well, but I might have to give it another shot in the near future. And I will update you guys on Savage Planet's progress. Now, switching gears a little bit, I have made a troll deck, a mono-white troll deck for Magic the Gathering. It is designed so that basically by turn 3 or 4, your opponent won't be able to do anything. Key cards are Awe, Silence, and Staying Power. Now, I know Staying Power is an unhinged card and is banned in most, if not all, formats. But since this is a casual deck I'm making, I really, really don't care. I'm terrible like that. One can even say I'm lawful evil, but alignment's another topic that I'll cover another day. As of right now, I'm going to post a link to it for on-tapped out. As of now, when this video is published, it currently has 2 aerial maneuvers, 4 all strikes, 4 blessed alliance, 2 path to exile, and 4 silence. For creatures, it's 2 angelic page, 2 8.5 tails, 2 grand abolishers, 2 selfless spirits, and 2 white shield crusaders. There's only 1 sorcery, 3 copies of Fell the Mighty, and 1 enchantment, 4 copies of Staying Power, because that's the key card, and just 27 lands, all of them white. Now, as you may point out, there's still a bunch of holes in the deck, but I will continue to work on it, and I may update you on its progress in a later video. Now, finally, animation. I've recently started watching a series called The Adventures of Lucky Pie. What it is that it's essentially the Chinese answer, or some would even say a ripoff, of Adventure Time. Now, when I watched a few episodes of Lucky Pie, I could obviously see why people would say it's a knockoff. But I don't think it's too much of a knockoff when you compare it to, say, Miracle Star, which is an actual knockoff of The Amazing World of Gumball. I'll cover that in another video. Now, the animation is really decent. I do believe it was made on Flash. It's nothing to write home about. But the fact that 5 people, that's right, you heard me, 5, dedicated their entire time to this project is nothing short of astounding. Now, mind you, the first 2 episodes of Lucky Pie had no funding and wasn't even made in the studio. On the 3rd episode, they just started making videos. What I mean videos, I mean episodes, based off of their patron contributions. So they made a patron account, and people have been giving them money so they can make more episodes, which I think is pretty good. Each episode is 11 to 12 minutes long, and they're not really that long. Basically, like your standard cartoon that you would see on TV. So it's not really that long. And that's about it. I'll be sure to be making more videos, if not weekly, then bi-weekly. And I'll try to stick to that schedule. Have a good evening, everyone, and have fun gaming.